Welcome, everyone, to this grand evening of poetry, music, theater, and dance in celebration of the inauguration of Rebecca Chopp as the 14th president of Swarthmore College. And Rebecca and Fred, an extra special warm welcome to the two of you. We're glad you're with us. We're glad you're here as part of this community. And I wonder if you'd be kind enough, the two of you, to stand for a moment and greet this audience and let them greet you. I'm Bennett Lorber from the class of 1964. When my son Sam, who attended Swarthmore and is now a professional musician, was a little boy, my grandmother would often ask him, "Sam, when you grow up, are you going to be a doctor like your father?" And Sam would promptly reply, "No, a musician." And my grandmother would get this dismayed look on her face, and she would say, "Sam, a musician isn't something you are. A musician is something you do, like you're a professor and you play the violin, or you're a doctor and you play the piano." For my grandmother, the arts were strictly extracurricular, and it was the same at this college during my student days. There was a vibrant art scene here, but it was all extracurricular. And I'm really proud that Swarthmore long ago realized the importance of the arts in this community of scholars. The arts are no longer extracurricular. They're central and a core part of the life of this community. And I must say that I'm extraordinarily envious of the students who are now able to engage in dance and painting and music and theater and creative writing and other arts with the same seriousness of purpose and the same quality of instruction that they bring to and experience in their science, literature, economics, and other classes. Whether we are observers, listeners, readers, or active participants, the arts are essential to our lives as individuals and members of communities. The arts restore us and inspire us. The arts provoke us and challenge us. They raise our spirits and our expectations. They reveal our common humanity, enable communication with those who speak another language. The arts give form to passion and to meaning and to spirit. And participation in the arts teaches that process may be as important as product, sometimes more important. Let me conclude these introductory remarks with just a little story about Rebecca. Not long after Rebecca arrived on this campus last summer, I called her executive coordinator, Laura Warren, to set up an appointment so that I could talk to Rebecca about some matters that were pertinent to the Academic Affairs Committee of the board. So Laura found me a date and a time to meet with Rebecca, and she said she'd put me down for an hour. And I said, "Laura, I don't need an hour. A half an hour will be more than enough." And Laura said, "Bennett, she's wonderful. Take the hour." Well, Laura was right. So congratulations, Rebecca, and welcome again, everyone, to this glorious celebratory evening.
Good evening. I'm Nathalie Anderson. I direct the program in creative writing here at the college, and I'm delighted to begin this evening's Festival of the Arts celebrating the inauguration of Rebecca Chopp. To serve as a college president in today's world is clearly an art in itself, requiring a dancer's quickness, a musician's nuance, an actor's focused intensity. For Swarthmore to find a leader like Rebecca Chopp, who listens intently and with inclusive respect, who works collaboratively, who acts decisively and inventively, that's poetry. It's exhilarating to be part of this communal opus, this perpetual opera, Rebecca's bright new song. The poem I'm reading tonight is one of personal hopefulness, but I hope it speaks to the larger hopes of our community as well in suggesting that we might trust in the unexpected. It's set in Japan in a Shinto shrine, propitiating the tricksy spirit of the fox, and it refers to torii, those striking red gate-like structures associated with the religion. And, surprise, it quotes Chaucer. Go, little book, Chaucer wrote at the conclusion of his novel in verse, Troilus and Cressida, and others have since used that phrase when sending their own writing out into the world. Shrine, Part 1. Perhaps because I dropped in the box only my smallest coins, the weightless ones, dull as tarnish, worth at the time well less than 1/100th of 100th. The bell, for me, would not sound. I grasped the rope, tugged it and twisted it, hurled it about like a lariat. But for me, the bell did not answer. For the woman before me, yes, with her bowed head. For the children behind me, yes, for all their giggling. Go, little book, I said, because that's every poet's prayer. But for me, the bell gave no reply. The fox on the left, with the key in his jaws, did not drop it, did not loosen his grip, not even to grin. And when I spread there a handful of ume, dried plums, fruit favored by foxes, perhaps because I held back for myself the bulk of the packet, the bell spoke not a word. The fox on the right, his muzzle closed on succulents, found nothing I could offer him more tempting to his bite. Part 2. One after one, torii on torii, the red gates usher the petitioner. So slender, they're no shelter. Rain falls and leaves fall between those gates. Beyond them, the stream calls, the birds call. There's no combing of sands or of grasses, no gathering up of fallen leaves or branches, the trees so dense no one would dare to cut them. To meet a fox in all that twilight where they toss about their prey. Bound with straw ropes, the trees surge up, swell out, press thick against their bondage, the leaves glistening, the paths glistening, the breath so deep in the throat, in the chest, oh more, drink more of it, glistening. Go, little book, I said, but I can't say if it was listening out there among the foxes. Thank you.
whoever planned the program here, I'd like to thank you for putting me right after that. The longer I live, pile years onto my life, the more I realize that the further we go, the stranger it gets. My being here tonight is one perfect example of that. 40 years ago, this spring, I was appointed a dorm proctor at Swarthmore College. We call them proctors, and I think they call them RAs now or something. 39 years ago, I was, if not the very first and only, at least one of the very few proctors ever to be fired. And now here I am in a jacket and tie, helping to inaugurate the new president, which, gee, it only took him 14 tries to get a woman. But, you know, better late than never. This is a poem called Red-Tailed Hawks. It was actually inspired by a trip I went on when, as a class parent when my daughter was in first grade. We went to the John James Audubon estate right up the Schuylkill from here. These chattering children fill the woods with so much raw exuberance, one wonders what's the point of coming here when any local playground would suffice. Their teacher twice tells Michael and James, "Don't throw acorns, please," to no effect. They start again the moment she turns to remind Adrian, "Stay on the path." Leela's worried she'll fall in the creek. Chelsea and Ben are pushing each other when one of the children shouts, "There's a hawk," and points. "There's another, there, another." Other children cry. 4 red-tailed hawks, lazily circling, gliding, whirling, wheeling, riding an unseen thermal up so high the children tip their heads straight back. And still the hawks rise higher, higher still, until they're only 4 black dots of elemental joy against white clouds. The children, even Michael and James, so intent, so silent one can almost hear wings they want to lift them where the hawks have gone.
In the silhouette of a fading sun. But soon it will come out bathed in the moonlit night. And those eager eyes will be hurt too, one more time. One more time. And these longing fingers will be entwined with those fingers again. sari or the colors on your face or the way you have dressed. There has to be something that has made the curtains that hide you so colorful. I wonder if in the thick, dark tresses of your long hair, does the moon still twinkle, hanging suspended, still yearning for me? Tonight, the beauty of my beloved will show itself in the same resplendent glory. Those dreamy eyes, those black eyelashes, the color of her cheeks flushed with the pink of roses, and those hands smelling of sandal, decorated with beautiful henna designs. This is the world of my couplets and my thoughts. Such is the essence of my poetry. Such is the fate of this doomed poet. There is no other subject of my verses. The mood of the poet wanders in no other land but that of the beloved. the warm smell of blood? Or the sweet fragrance of beloved's lips? From which direction is the wind blowing? Someone, go and check. Can you feel with the arrival of spring that the estranged have come alive? You must go and check. Who is the stone-hearted that sings the song of serenade? This alone is the world of my thoughts, my verses. This is the essence of my composing, the witness of my meaning. Until now, in the shadow of centuries, black and red, what has overtaken the children of Eve and Adam? In daily confrontation of death and life, arrayed for war, what will befall us? What befell our ancestors? Countless creatures in all these glittering cities. Do they live merely longing for death? The melancholy evening is lost in the silhouette of a fading sun, and soon it will come out bathed in the moonlit night, and those eager eyes will be heard too, one more time, and these longing fingers will be entwined with those fingers again